Greetings, everyone. Well, it's been quite a while since I've done one of these updates. Yeah, I got a few new PS3 games. Oh my god, a video game update. You're probably beginning to wonder, does Sean even play games anymore? Like, what the hell? What's up with that? Yeah, well, no, I do play video games. I'm nowhere near as hardcore as I was in my younger days, simply because of lack of time. I just don't have the time to devote to gaming like I used to. So what did I do? I picked up two games that have ridiculously long gameplay value, and another one that has pretty long gameplay value as well. But anyway, let's just skip the teasers and get right to it. New PS3 games today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Okay, well, first up, we actually have a sequel a sequel to a classic PS2 game that was just a runaway smash hit over here. It was one of those weirdly weird, obscure, unusual games from Japan that normally you would think wouldn't get any kind of a release here, but it did, and it was a huge hit. And I played the hell out of the original on the PS2. The original, of course, was Katamari Damacy, and the PS3 version is Katamari Forever. Yeah, you may recall I actually did a first impressions video a little while back where I played a bit of the demo version of this. Well, really liked it, and actually I got this from Aneta. Aneta had picked up the game, and apparently it's kind of hard to come by now. So anyway, she picked it up. She was going to sell it on Amazon, but basically gave me first dibs and asked if I wanted it, and so I bought it off of her for like $20. So not too shabby. I think it was going for about double that on Amazon at the time, so she definitely gave me a good deal. So thanks, Aneta. Appreciate it. Anyway, so Katamari Forever. From what I've played of it, a very worthy successor and, natural evolution of the franchise, and, sure to please any Katamari fan. Next up, I have a sequel a sequel to a long-running role-playing game series that originally started on the PC back in the DOS days, and had a few games on there, and then it kind of vanished into obscurity. And then it had a third game in the main storyline that came out and just took the world by storm. And ever since then, each successive chapter in the saga just seems to be more and more popular. Now everybody's talking about the latest one, namely Skyrim. But I didn't pick up Skyrim. No, why would I pick up Skyrim when I hadn't played the previous one? Oblivion! Yeah, so I could not pass this up, because the funny thing is I actually bought this the day before Skyrim was released. So everybody was all, ooh, Skyrim this, Skyrim that, Skyrim. And I was like, Oblivion! Yeah, what can I say? I like to be 5 years behind everybody else. But no, the thing was, this has come way down in price. This, of course, is the Game of the Year edition, which includes both of the expansion packs. You got Knights of the Nine and the Shivering Isles already pre-installed and incorporated into the main game, so they're already there, ready to go. You can play them as you're playing the main game if you want to. It's awesome. So, yeah, I had heard... this is one of those RPGs I'd been meaning to play for ages. I'd heard nothing but good things about it. The only bad things I heard about it is it's a little bit glitchy. But apparently that's par for the course for Bethesda software games. They're all glitchy. Apparently even Skyrim's hella glitchy in different ways. So, yeah, basically, general rule of thumb, save often, have multiple saves. So if you do encounter a glitch, you should be okay. You'll at least be able to backtrack a little bit and hopefully avoid that happening. I actually did discover one of the glitches on my own. Without going into any background and assuming you know exactly what I'm talking about, there was a level where I had to relinquish all of my weapons and armor in order to proceed deeper into the mission. And at the time I was wearing some bound armor, and every time I relinquished my possessions, the game would freeze. And then I got to thinking, without looking at a wiki or anything, I just thought, I wonder if it's because I'm wearing that bound armor, because you can't really unequip bound armor. It's basically, it wears off after a while. but you can't really drop it or unequip it. You certainly can't sell it, nothing like that. So yeah, so anyway, I waited for the bound armor to wear off and then relinquished my possessions, and everything was fine. So there we go. Let's see what we can get. We get a little less glare. No, we're gonna get glare no matter where. Can we maybe angle it a little bit? Yeah, that's alright. I guess that's about as good as it's gonna get. So let's move these over. Anyway, if you wonder why I haven't been posting quite as many videos over the past few weeks, need I say more? This is why I don't play RPGs very often. I really enjoy them. I absolutely love them. I love the depth of them. I love the complex stories and all the side quests and, you know, the wide variety of creatures you can encounter and just everything about them. I think they're awesome. You know, really the next level in interactive storytelling. But you know, anybody who's played them will tell you they are incredibly time consuming. I mean, it literally takes you hundreds of hours to complete. For example, in Oblivion, one of the things that's going on is there's these mysterious Oblivion gates, as they're called, opening up all over the world. And they're basically portals that lead to the realm of Oblivion, which is kind of like the Elder Scrolls version of Hell. And out of these portals are coming demons to just, you know, attack anybody who gets in their way and just raise a lot of trouble. So one of the things you can do is you can go through the portal over to the Oblivion plane and deactivate the portal by getting this sigil. And then you can use the sigil to enchant your weapons, which is great because they're usually really powerful enchantments that add a lot of really useful things to your weapons. But I mean, it takes you a while. I mean, it takes about an hour on a good day to work your way up the tower and get the sigil and battle your way through all the monsters. And as you level up, everything else in the world levels up too. So it's always difficult, no matter how powerful you are. And yeah, so here's the thing: it takes about an hour to shut an Oblivion gate and battle your way through the monsters. And you're going to be exploring around each plane as well. You want to, you know, harvest them for stuff for your spells and whatnot. There are 99 Oblivion gates in the entire game. So just going hell-bent on closing all the Oblivion gates alone is about 100 hours worth of gameplay. That doesn't even begin to touch the story itself and all the sub-quests and mini-quests you can do along the way. I mean, this thing is just massive. Stupidly massive. Like, I've never played an RPG on this scale, which may say I haven't played very many of them, which I freely admit that I haven't, for that reason. They're just incredibly time-consuming, and as much as I love them, I just don't have the time to devote to them. I mean, you know, even I think Final Fantasy VII, I was only about 100 hours, or no, I think it was about 80 hours in, and I had already finished most of it, so, you know, they're huge. Anyway, I'd heard a lot of good things about Oblivion, had been meaning to pick it up for a long time, and this was a deal I could not pass up. The Game of the Year edition for $19.99. And it was on sale at my store, so my discount actually knocked it down to about 17 bucks. So with tax, it came to less than the ticketed price. So I got it for a little bit under $19.99, like $19.80 something, with tax. So that's a lot of hours of gameplay for 20 bucks. And then today, I got an equivalent deal by finding the Game of the Year edition of Fallout 3. This is another one I've really been dying to play. You know, post-apocalyptic RPG? Hell yeah, sign me up. That sounds awesome. And Liam Neeson plays your dad, so how can that go? How can you go wrong with that? Yeah, and this one has even more extra content. It's actually got 5 expansion packs. Operation Anchorage, The Pit, Broken Steel, Point Lookout, and Mothership Zeta. I don't know how lengthy those add-ons are in contrast to the Oblivion add-ons, but, you know, if it's anything like Oblivion, I'm guessing they're fairly meaty. And apparently this is quite comparable in complexity and running time to stuff like Oblivion. And from what I understand, Skyrim is even bigger and take you even longer to get through. So yeah, I can't really say much about Fallout 3 because I haven't played it very much. Anetta's brother actually had it, and brought it over one day when he was visiting, and I played it for a couple of hours just to check it out, and I really liked what I saw of it, and have been meaning to pick it up ever since. But then they came out with the Game of the Year edition, so then of course I'm like, well, I got to get the Game of the Year edition. I mean, that's just going to be more convenient, not have to bother with all the downloadable content and add-ons and stuff, and just have everything included right then and there. I'd much rather have all that stuff on the disc to begin with anyway, because it just means that years later I can still play it and I don't have to re-download it or track it down or whatever. I've just got everything right there. So yeah, between Katamari Forever, Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Game of the Year Edition, and Fallout 3 Game of the Year Edition, I think I've got a lot of gaming hours to enjoy ahead, but I'm going to try to be good and take the time to keep the videos coming. I just have to remember, do the videos for the day first, then play Oblivion. I've already made the mistake of saying, well, I'll just play Oblivion for a little bit and then I'll do some videos. Yeah, that's not happening. As soon as Oblivion powers on, that's it. It's Oblivion time for the rest of the frickin' night. Yeah, I love how these games just have this sort of time warp effect, where it's you start playing at, say, 10 in the evening, and then you're playing for a while, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you realize you really have to pee. And then you look at the clock, and it's like 5:30 in the morning, and you're tired, and it just suddenly dawns on you how exhausted you actually are, and realize you have to get up in 2 hours to go to work. Yeah, and this is why I don't play RPGs anymore. The one reason I play RPGs like these once in a while is because they end. You do get to the end eventually, and then it's over, and then you can go back and do some mini quests or whatever, but the main story does have a finite conclusion. The reason I don't play stuff like WoW and other, massively multiplayer online RPGs is because they basically go on forever and ever and ever, and they become your life. I mean, I know I've lost friends to WoW. Okay, like I have seen extreme WoW addiction in its purest, unfiltered form, and it ain't pretty. And knowing myself and how much I enjoy games like this, I know that if I got into one of those games, I would just be playing that forever, and you'd never see me again. And would that be a good thing? Yeah, no. So no, I'm not going to play WoW. Ever. But ones like this, that's fine, because as I say, they end. Anyway, not too shabby. So basically for $60, grand total over the course of the past couple of months. Well, actually, I got this one quite a while ago and just kept forgetting to mention it to you guys. These two I just picked up within the past month. Yeah, that's a lot of hours of gameplay enjoyment there. I'd say that was money well spent. Alrighty. Well, that's it from me to you for now, guys. So until next time, thanks for watching, and sayonara. I love how the fridge comes on right as I start recording. I'm trying to minimize the background noise, and fridge, yeah.